everybody, this is Summer Dancer. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I decorated the front of my art journal, and we're going to do the back of it together. So basically all you need for this project is an old book. I used one that I haven't read and it's old, so I can pretty much do whatever I wanted with it. And what you need is, I'm going to use this one, it's a paintbrush. I like to use a longer one because it's easier to paint, like not a super skinny one or a super big one, just kind of one in the middle. Medium-sized brush. And then you're going to need a paper doily. I cut this one in half, so that was the other half. And then you need a bunch of paint that you kind of want to have this tie-dye watercolor effect on it. So I'm using pink, purples, and blues. Oh, then you also need white paint also. And I liked having this. I wanted to put this paper on the front. I made this with, I think it was acrylic paint and water. It also kind of looks like watercolor. So I was trying to figure out a way to do straight acrylic and have it look like watercolor. So I'm going to show you how to do that on the back. And you want to make sure you paint the corners of it too, but we'll talk about that later. The first thing you're going to do is get your paint out. And I am going to start with my white and put it in the middle. I apologize if I sound weird, I have a cold. So I'm going to put a bunch of white in the middle. You're going to need a lot of white. And then I'm going to put my other colors around it. You don't need a lot. You can always add more. You don't want to waste paint. There's my pink. And then I'm going to use this light blue, but then I might add this darker blue later. There. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to take my white, and since this is a red book, the white kind of helps to cover the red, and so I'm just going to kind of smear it on the back. I'm going to try to get the same colors that I did on the front, try to make it consistent, but you can always do whatever you want on the back, but it's just my preference to make it look the same. There, that should be good. I'm going to put a little bit more white on here. So I'm going to do what I did for my cover. I took my pink and put it at the top. The purple was in the middle, and then like my blue and purple was here. You don't have to section it off like that, but you can mix it all around if you want, which I kind of did too. It was kind of sectioned and kind of not. You kind of blend it like tie-dye. So it's going to start with the pink. It's going to look really bright at first, but it'll blend in, as you will soon see. Okay, that's really bright. And so what you want to do is like dab some white into it until it kind of looks watercolory and pastel color. That's really bright. That's more white. So just kind of swoop it back and forth. You don't want to see where your brush touched down, which is why this place is helpful, and the edges. Okay, now I'm going to put my purple in the middle. I feel like I'm going to need a little bit more white. But see how it just kind of fades, and it's this really pretty pastel watercolor looking thing. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more. More white. The white always looks pretty swirled in with other pretty colors, so. And now I'm going to put some of the blue on the bottom. You don't need to worry about wiping your brush because it's all going to be mixed together anyway. I mean, you can if you want to. You want to make sure you get all the edges, and you can come around. Make sure you get the spine of the book too. And see how it just kind of all mushes together? Add some more blue to the bottom. If you can't see a color, then just keep adding it and swirling it in. And it's more purple, and you can always like put a little bit of blue up here or some purple in the middle or kind of swirl it all around. Wow, I'm splattering paint everywhere. That's okay. Add some more pink, more purple. You get the idea. And now I'm going to let this dry. Okay, so I am back, and this has dried. As you can see, it's not wet anymore, and I think it's dry right here too. And so now we're going to do the last step, which is applying our paper doily onto the other side, and I'm going to use decoupage for this, and we're just going to lay it down along the binding right here. Don't put it right here because then it might bend around. And yeah, so I'm just going to use some decoupage for this. And then also I'm going to use this star sticker and just put it in the corner. I thought that might be cool. I forgot to mention this earlier, but you can also use some lace ribbon and stuff. You can really decorate these book covers however you want. So I'm going to start by putting my decoupage, or Mod Podge, whatever you want to call it, into my little cup right here. I'm going to use the same brush that I used before. And then I'm going to, oops, it keeps moving. I'm going to put it underneath where I want my doily to be because it'll kind of suction it down a little bit. So I'm going to put it on in the rough shape of the doily. Just a thin layer. We're going to end up covering the whole thing with decoupage, but I'm just going to start with going underneath this. All right, now I'm going to see if I can center it. And you want to lay it out flat, so I'm going to kind of stretch it out and press it onto the decoupage. Try not to rip it because the decoupage will make it really soggy sooner or later, so try not to rip it and be really gentle with it. So the decoupage is going to kind of suction it down. You might have a few wrinkles, but that's okay because I think that gives it cool texture. Okay, I'm going to put some more Mod Podge in my cup because I ran out already. And so now you cover the whole thing with it. And you can also slide your brush underneath the paper or whatever you're doing to get it to stick a little bit more. You just go over the entire thing and try to be gentle, especially if there's little cutouts in it because it might rip. This corner needs a little bit more. And I would suggest going along the edge like that and then smoothing it down. When I did my doily on the front, I kind of ripped it a little bit, but I was going to put this butterfly on anyway, so I just put the butterfly on top of it. So that's one fix that you can use. Okay, this is getting really wrinkly, and you can kind of smush it down with your fingers. I'm just going to keep layering on the decoupage, and then I'm going to layer this whole thing with decoupage the rest of the cover, or the back cover, whatever. It's still a cover. And I wanted to put the star right here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my star. And it's okay if it's not sticky. You can also use a little paper cutout or something if you don't have any stickers. The decoupage will keep it on anyway, so I'm going to put it, sorry, you can't see that. Put that right there. And then I'm going to put some on top. And don't worry, it dries clear. That's one of the good things about decoupage. Smooth out those wrinkles. Let's smush this down. There, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna let that dry. And then one last thing you can do if you want is, what I might do is take this lace ribbon that I have and maybe like tie a bead at the end if I find a pretty bead that I want to use. And then what you would do with that is glue it to the spine right here so that it's like a bookmark coming through the pages. So there's my art journal. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'll see you next time. Bye!